This is the introduction to futures markets. So why are we talking about futures markets? Let's remind ourselves what we've talked about so far. In Module 5, we introduced the oil market. We talked about how oil is produced and refined, etc. And to talk about the modern oil market, we need to discuss commodity trading. So we need to introduce futures markets. First, what is a forward contract? So we're going to discuss forward contracts and futures contracts. A forward contract is a legal agreement to transfer ownership and take delivery of a commodity in the future. The contract will specify the type and quality of a commodity, maybe light sweet crude, when and where the delivery takes place in Oklahoma in January 2021. Price or pricing mechanism. What's the price that the commodity will be traded at in January 2021? The spot price is the price for immediate delivery. So the spot price is important. It's a reference point. It's what the price is today. The forward price is the price for delivery at a specified date in the future. So this is the price for delivery according to this contract that we're talking about for January 2021 of, let's say, 10,000 barrels of light sweet crude. So that we'll have a contract that specifies all that information and it's benchmarked to whatever the spot price is. Futures exchanges. A futures contract is an obligation to buy or sell a commodity at a given price in the future in which the other party is an exchange. For example, the Chicago Mercantile Exchange or the NYMEX. This is Wall Street. Exchanges act as intermediaries between buyers and sellers who remain anonymous. They're essentially a bank. Futures contracts are based on standardized quantities, qualities, delivery dates, and delivery locations. These are standardized as opposed to a forward contract, which is not standardized. A forward contract is a one-off contract between a buyer and a seller for any particular amount of a commodity at whatever price the buyer and seller agree upon. The futures contract, on the other hand, are standardized. They're always for a certain quantity of a commodity, and the prices are specified based on, again, what the buyer and seller are willing to pay, but it's a market-based system, not a one-off. Advantages of futures contracts over forward contracts. Futures contracts eliminate many of the challenges and risks associated with forward contracts. There's no need for buyer and seller to find each other. You just go to the exchange and you put a bid to buy or sell a futures contract. You don't have to find a particular refiner that's willing to sell you oil at a price or refined products at a price, or you don't have to find a producer that's willing to sell oil at a particular price. The market provides price transparency. There's no need to agree on the price. The market is essentially a perfectly competitive market. There's millions of buyers and sellers of these commodities, and so the prices are listed and you take it or leave it. Exchange provides insurance in case the other party defaults. So this isn't the case necessarily with a forward contract, a one-off between a buyer and a seller. If the buyer defaults, the seller really has no recourse. And in a futures contract situation, the exchange provides the insurance. You can sell or buy contracts as required to deal with the changing circumstances. So these are so what this implies is that the contracts can be sold to another party. Then that's not true with a forward contract. Once a forward contract is placed between a buyer and seller, it cannot be transferred to another party. Futures can be sold millions of times to different people. Here's what the oil futures market or futures contract looks like for West Texas Intermediate. This is basically the benchmark U.S. crude. It's a light sweet crude oil. It's traded in units of thousands of barrels, so you can't just buy one barrel. This is a gigantic purchase. I mean, you're going to be spending hundreds of thousands of dollars on a future. The delivery point is in Cushing, Oklahoma, which is also accessible to international spot markets by pipelines. The delivery provided for several grades of domestic and international traded foreign crude. So you can buy blended crudes on this. You can buy all types of different crudes, different grades. So this kind of gives you a sense of the standardization of the WTI West Texas Intermediate Futures Contract. So these white cylinders, these are the oil storage places. The futures contracts for WTI, the West Texas Intermediate, specifies the delivery of oil in Cushing, Oklahoma, and that's what this is a picture of here. This is where all the oil is stored. But, so here's a caveat. Most of the traders that buy futures contracts don't actually ever want to take possession of their commodity. Most of the traders, a guy or a woman sitting at a desk on Wall Street doesn't actually ever want to take possession of 100,000 barrels of oil. So you should have watched the introduction to the futures market, and you might understand how this works. But if you let your futures contract expire and you are the owner of the futures contract, then you need to specify where that oil is going to show up. And so you have to be careful to sell your futures contract before it expires. Here's an example of somebody accidentally let their futures contract expire, and they were the owner of 241,000 tons of cocoa beans. There's also been stories where somebody's let a futures contract for cattle expire, and then they had to take delivery of cattle in Chicago. Obviously, that's not ideal for 100,000 head of cattle to come into Chicago. So you have to make sure that you get rid of your futures contract before it expires. You sell it. What's the relationship between futures prices and spot prices? Because futures contracts can result in physical delivery, the futures price always converges to the spot price at maturity. Otherwise, there would be an opportunity for arbitrage, right? So if you own a futures contract that's about to expire, you need to get rid of it. You do not want to take physical delivery of the commodity, oil, whatever it is, corn. And so you need to sell it. And if you hold it right when it's expiring, you have to then sell it at the spot price. You have no other choice. You can't sell it above the spot price because somebody that wants to purchase the commodity could then just go and buy the commodity at the spot price on the spot market. You wouldn't want to sell it below the spot price because then you'd be losing money. And so it just happens that every futures contract at expiration, the price of that futures contract converges to the spot price. In practice, most futures traders do not take delivery. We've already said that. They unwind their positions by paying or being paid the difference between their contract price and the final settlement price. More than 99% of the WTI futures contracts settle in this manner. So more than 99% of the WTI futures contracts purchases and sales are by entities, people that do not want to actually take physical possession of the commodity. Futures traders will have an account with the exchange where they will make or receive payments throughout the life of the contract depending on changes in market prices. This is called mark-to-market. And this avoids the risk associated with making extremely large payments at the end of the contract. And so what this is basically saying is that if you hold on to a futures contract for an extended period, more than several hours, you're going to be making payments on that futures contract or receiving payments depending on what the spot price is doing relative to the futures price that you've paid. And that just avoids making a huge payment in the end when the thing expires, because prices vary quite a bit. Let's add a little math to this. What's the connection between futures prices today for delivery in period capital T? It's going to be F. Little t is a period today when it expires in capital T, and spot prices today are P lowercase t. So lowercase t is today, the current time period, and capital T is the end time period. A normal futures curve means future prices are higher than spot prices, so that's F sub t is greater than the current spot price, and this is called contango. This suggests that people think that the price of oil is going to go up. If the futures price of oil is higher than the spot price, people are thinking that the price of oil will be higher in the future than it is today. An inverted futures curve means futures prices are lower than spot prices, meaning that people think that the price of oil is going to go down. Maybe they think that we're heading towards a recession. Who knows? This is called backwardation. Buying and storing the commodity may be profitable when the futures market is in contango. Why? Because if you think that the price of oil is going up in several months, you should probably sell or store it right now and hold on to it and sell it at a later date when the price is higher. It's not profitable during backwardation. Obviously, if you think the prices are going to go down, you want to get rid of the oil right now. Let's see this one more time. Let Ft, little t and big T, be the futures price at time t for delivery at capital T. So this would be the futures price today for delivery 6 months from now. How much am I willing to pay for delivering oil 6 months from now? Today. How much am I willing to pay today? Let P sub T be the spot price at T. So that's the price of oil delivered today. The relationship between spot and futures prices can be written in the following equation. So the futures price, how it evolves from today to the next period, T plus 1, today being little t, next period is T plus 1. This is equal to the spot price times the interest rate. Of course, we have to consider how the interest rate affects spot prices, plus ST, which is the per period storage cost, and CT, which is the convenience yield. So storage costs are, of course, we have to, if we're putting our oil in those big tankers that we saw a while back, the big white cylinders, if we're storing it there, we have to pay for that storage. So that's going to be included in the futures price. The convenience yield is a little more complicated. This thing it counts for the benefit of holding the assets or the inventories. So if you, it's sort of like the cost of ensuring delivery even if there are supply disruptions. It's inversely related to the tightness of the market. So when storage is low, the convenience yield increases. Okay, so what is this thing doing? It's kind of like insurance. If you think that there's going to be a shortage of oil in 6 months, then you're willing to pay a premium in order to ensure that you get oil in 6 months. So it's this additional cost associated with ensuring delivery even if there are supply disruptions in the future. So you will use this equation in your problem set on futures. You'll have to rearrange this equation in order to get measures of the convenience yield based on the futures and the spot prices. And you can see how these convenience yields evolve over time.